This is Ms. Rockmon, live and direct. I hope everybody's doing well now or later whenever you watch this video. I want to thank you if you choose to watch. Don't forget to click subscribe, like, follow, is that subscribe? All that good stuff that we ask you to do when you come on to the channels and the pages and all that good stuff in the world of social media. I don't think I put a title to this video, so I'm just going to jump in. And the reason for this video is because, I haven't been live on YouTube in a while, and I've been on Facebook and I've been posting videos on here, but mostly I've been talking about or posting about the behavior of racists. And what started my posting about this topic is I started back on Black History Month last year, 2024. And it was just to pay homage to Black history. And I started with just like racists, think Black lives don't matter. And that's just an example. And oh, gosh, the responses were crazy, like crazy with these racists. And they accused me of being a racist and accused me of race baiting and rage baiting and all these terms and things like that. And of course, I can't bait you as a racist unless you're a racist and are allowed to be baited. So it's now almost a year. And one of the other reasons that I did that is because I had almost 60,000 followers on my Facebook page, and I used to talk about child support reform. That was my, how I came onto social media, and I wanted to release my new book, which I'm going to do soon, but I knew that those followers were not the followers that were going to pick up or read. They weren't interested in finding out why welfare did not destroy the Black family. So I really wanted to talk to and bring in people who I could talk to about this material, really. And it's been a long ride. But I say that to say how I even started talking about my book that I have coming out is because as a child support reform advocate, I found out that the topic of welfare destroying the Black family is a common topic in the father's rights or equal share parenting, in that arena, in that industry. That is a common topic. The Moynihan Report is common. These are topics that are discussed over and over and over. Welfare, dependency, fatherless families. When they talk about fatherlessness, it is specific to Black families, Black people. And Title 4D, if you've if you followed my, I'm gonna say career, because I retired doing or working on child support cases a couple of years ago, then all I talked about was Title 4D. The Child Support Hustle, my book, was concentrated on Title 4D of the Social Security Act. So that was not race specific, and I use race just for a lack of a better word. It was just about low income welfare families. That was it. I didn't, make it about Black families or Hispanic families. And I also always said it was about the color of money green. Through the years, people, of course, brought race into it. And I said, no, I did not want to discourage the topic or discourage the unity based on race, because I know how quickly that can tear down what you're trying to build up, whatever it is. When you put race, politics, things like that into whatever, it can crumble whatever you're trying to build. So as the years went on, I started noticing about this Moynihan report, welfare destroying the black family, things like that. And I'm like, what? So I started looking into it and researching it. And I'm like, this is some bullshit. Like, what are they talking about? And the groups, you know, that were saying it were these equal shared parenting groups and things like that. So I'm like, start peeping them a little bit harder. So it made me stop advocating, because they were pretty much reversing the Title 4D information that I was putting out and people were sharing. Now that some people are saying, well, you weren't the first one to put out Title 4D information. Well, I was the first one to put it out on the scale that I put it out, that it was put out on social media, going all over the place. They weren't talking about it. And I'm gonna tell you why. Because these groups, these father right groups and things like that, these were mostly white, not mostly, almost all white male specific groups. These were divorcee males, patriarchy. They talk about nuclear families, the husband, the wife, and the kids. You're hearing more about it now and I'm not blaming President Trump for this or anything like that. I'm just basing this, I'm telling you what this is based on, my research. And I've been researching the child support system, family court system, welfare system. I started in 06 on my own case. So I'm going on 20 years now. So this is what I have learned in all of this time. So that is that group, and that's who these people are. And I'm saying these people for a reason. My group, my team we weren't included in the main group. And that was because my expertise, if you will, was in Title 4D of the Social Security Act, welfare cases. That's what I talked about. That's the cases I worked on, the parents I talked to, and that was it. Well, that was, in their eyes, some black people stuff, fatherless homes, single mothers, fatherless children, criminals. They were raising criminals, and they still feel like that. That's where you hear all this fatherless. They're not talking about their children. They are trying to prevent their children from becoming our children, our black fatherless children, our welfare single mothers, as if they don't have single mothers and they're not fighting the same fight to keep fathers in the home or whatever. I'm just giving you a background. So that's what led to me researching for my new book coming out, which is, I haven't named it yet, but research on how welfare didn't destroy the black family. But that's not why I'm here either. Well, because I have all this knowledge in my head about Title 4D, I don't talk about it all the time. Like, that's not what my page is about. I talk about different topics, and I had said that years ago. Everybody says, some people say, I thought this was a child support page. No, I talk about different things. I like to read, I like to research, and, I talk about these racists. They get really mad. But, and I talk about welfare. I talk about the food stamp, that the restructuring of the food stamp program, SNAP program that went on, but just things with welfare in general, the children in general. So if I see something about child support, family court, anything like that, and I know it's bullshit, I'm calling out the bullshit. Why? Because it's damaging to the infrastructure of the family court system. These people who hijacked the child support reform system with no intent of reforming it, put the reform that we were on our way to back. They set it back damn near to the back 30 years, because people don't understand, or they've mixed these two systems together once again, Title 4D and non-Title 4D. So you got all this misinformation out here, and they did it just to get clicks and to push some idea of reform that is not coming. But that, again, is another video. So I saw some misinformation, and I posted it. And I'm not going to say the guy's name, because I don't like giving shine too much to these, I'm called racists, and these groups, because y'all know when these racists get called out for what they do, they get elevated, because really it's more of them than there is of us, right? And I can't see y'all comments. I got this light in my eye. And I don't know if y'all calling me names. I don't know, because I get called a lot of names. Those don't hurt me. I'm a big girl. I've been called a lot of names. I've been a lot of these. Been some of those. So, do your worst. It's not going to bother me. The end, I'm not going to say on here, but the end with the hard R, whatever stupid shit y'all call, that don't hurt my feelings. Calling me, I got called a piggy. That doesn't hurt my feelings. Like, none of that shit bother me. I can't believe that grown ass people call names and idiot and the R word. Like, mental illness is not funny. Like, y'all raising kids. Like, these people is raising children, behaving like children. I'm sorry, I got sidetracked. But that shit don't hurt my feelings, y'all. So the topic that this group put up was talking about how little rights fathers have. And, that's their whole thing. It's something that they have been talking about, the same thing for the 13 years I've been on social media. Fathers don't have no rights. Why do they have to pay to be fathers? That whole thing. And we're 13 years later, and things are different. And they want to take it back to where things were back then. If you don't tell the people that follow and support you the things that have changed, and what a father or a mother, a custodial parent, a non-custodial parent can do to preserve their rights, to establish their parenthood, if they're the father, then what's the purpose? You're making them a victim to a system that they can beat with information. If we want to use beat, we can say conquer, we can say they can go in and get their rights established. And you don't have to necessarily file for child support. You don't have to do all of that. But there's a way that you can do it, instead of complaining all the time and making people feel like a woe is me. That's my point. There's things that have happened in these 12, 13 years since I've been an advocate that were not there in 2013. So I say that, like, why wouldn't dads be able to, things are available, you just have to know how to. So this lady says, no, mothers just, this lady says, you have to go to these groups. I said, well, just because some of these bitter women feel like this or that doesn't mean that's everybody's feelings. Basically, you have to be your own person. You can't go by what other people are saying or doing. This is an individual. Your family is an individual unit, right? So he responds, he doesn't tag me. RockMon is just a hateful person in general. She flips from side to side, but can't see where each side need to take accountability. That's bullshit. The majority of the time, mom holds every single card when it comes to the child, and the father is forced to beg to have a card to parent his own children. That, like I said, that could be the case if you don't know your rights. There's so many missing parts to that. But I'm not going to talk about the second part. I just want to read the whole thing in full. But me being a hateful person for telling a non-custodial parent or whoever should read his post that you can go and do X, Y, and Z. A mother or a custodial parent cannot just keep your child from you. Me telling a non-custodial parent that if you are alienated from your child, you can file paperwork, you can file an order to terminate your child support order because you are alienated. No, a lot of people don't do that. People don't do that because people don't know that. Why don't more groups, you have 100 and something thousand people or 200,000 people following you. Why wouldn't you tell people that instead of saying, you don't have any rights? She has all the cards. No, you take her to court. That's what I'm saying. That's not hateful. That's being frustrated because if you are doing this or claiming you're doing advocating for fathers, then tell them how to go see their children, right? But this guy, like I said, back to the race issue, he says, I'm hateful. No, I'm calling y'all out because y'all motherfuckers are racist. So I had seen this, I know this dude. Like I research people before I interact with them, before I talk anything, especially online. Even in person, I don't talk to people unless I know who I'm talking to. So here's one of his many, I just pulled a few, but the one that I first found when everything was going down, California had put out an ebony alert. That's what they called it because a lot of black young girls were missing, had start coming up missing. So they put out an ebony alert. He said, he tweeted, they need to put one out for dads. Oh, but you advocate for fathers. So you advocate for white fathers that they're not missing or they're not abandoning their children, but black fathers are. Okay, got you. So here's one that he said, education starts at home, and a home should be father, mother, children, not government, women, and children. How many black children in Baltimore are father deprived? How many black children are tucked in by their fathers every night? Read to every night by their dad? Why wouldn't that be black and white children? It's like they ignore the fact that they are talking about fathers tucking their children in, but they're saying at the same time that fathers have to beg to be fathers. So that means their children aren't being tucked in by their fathers either. But it's always the black children are at the top of the list every time. Divorce the government, not the father. Black fathers matter. That's another one. What's this one? It said, I'm pretty sure somebody said, talking about the per capita, only applies. He said, somebody says, I didn't know that per capita only applied to murder and not to rape, pedophilia, suicide, human trafficking, and white collar crime. He says, I'm pretty sure that the big bad racist white folks you're referring to didn't burn down cities, loot their local Target, destroy their police stations, amplify 3 Marxist lesbians hiding behind Black Lives Matter. The fuck? This is another one. Another father-deprived young man. In this video, the police was shooting, unloading. I'm talking about dumping on this black guy running. And he says, another father-deprived young man. Anytime you call the state to deal with father deprivation, the outcomes are horrible. Is that for everybody? No. So, okay, let me set this one up. Angel Reese says, find you a team that genuinely will do anything possible for you when you have big dreams and goals, no matter how big. Nothing I've asked or wanted hasn't been done. So it shows her sitting with her team around her. Not her basketball team, but it looks like her lawyer, manager, publicist, watching her running backstage. He says she couldn't find 3 black girls to help her. And that was just some. I didn't keep going. But this is the shit. This is what these fathers' rights, equal rights, people think of black fathers, mothers, and our children. So he could say, I'm hateful. A hateful person. And I don't flip side to side. I'm a realist. Both parents are necessary. Both parents are necessary. Both parents can be good parents, the father and the mother. Gender does not determine a good parent or a bad parent. That's not determined by what's between your legs. That doesn't even make any sense. But if you're going to victimize fathers for clicks and views and a couple dollars, then I'm going to say something every time I see it. Every time I see it, because it's ridiculous. So when I saw him say I was hateful, I just wanted to say, I was going to like put the stuff in the back and do a little, what they call it, the shorts. But I had a lot to say on this one, and that's only like 60 seconds or something like that. So I couldn't do it, but I'm glad I got that out. And I'm glad some of y'all stay with me. I can't read them all, but I hope they don't say I can't hear you. I've had some that said they can't hear me, but I thank y'all for watching and tuning in. I hope y'all press like and all that good stuff. And my site is down. I'm working on it as we speak. It's going to be up soon, maybe by tomorrow. And I know you guys know Darius McCrary was picked up at the border patrol. That's what they say. But he goes to court tomorrow, just in case anybody's interested. He goes to court tomorrow. That was back in October. So that's a whole different case. But I want you guys to follow that, because I'm out in California now, but he's in jail in Michigan, and they were holding him without a bond. They extradited him like they did before when he went out there. But there's some fraud going on, like big time, Title 4D, and it's not him. And I was talking to somebody, and they said, how does child support accumulate to like 100? They're saying he owes $112,000. His son is 18 now. How does a child support debt grow to $112,000 and counting? What they do, for anybody that is unfamiliar, he had his son from when he was a baby, like 2 months maybe, until he was 7. That's when the mother came back and got him. Well, when you go and file child support, they'll go back retroactively from when the child was born. So they're going to count from then until you get the child. So that's how that big lump sum gets charged to you. If you are on public assistance, and this is key, This is one of the difference between a non-Title 4D case and a 4D case. If you're on assistance, that money is owed to the state. So while some people have, arrears at $100,000, $30,000, they're not going to get a penny of that money because it's owed to the state. And that's why you will see somebody that maybe gets are supposed to get $500 in child support a month, only getting $25 because the state is going to get theirs up top. And that's if they pass through any money. Currently, 26 states don't pass any money through. And Colorado is the only state that passes all the money through. And they just started doing that in 24, maybe 23, but I think it's 24. So that's how it gets so high. If you have not already, what you should do, and you owe arrears, is demand an audit and go through the arrears they're claiming you owe. Even if you think the money is right, go through and, like you would a credit card statement, and make sure every penny matches what you have, because they will tack some money on there that you would be like, wait, where did this come from? And I always tell this story. I did an audit for somebody, and it was $30,000 off. They was charging him $30,000 more than what he was supposed to pay. Real quick, before I go, if you have somebody incarcerated and they're doing more than, I can't think, I haven't looked at this, 120, whatever 6 months is, 120 or 180 days, whatever that is, they can file a modification to have that child support drop to 0 or almost 0. It should be 0, so that they are not accumulating child support debt while they are locked up. President Obama passed that law, if you will, guideline, while he was in office. That was back, it went in effect 2014. So they're not supposed to, be in charge while they're doing time, so that when they come out, they don't have tens of thousands of dollars of child support debt hanging on their head. So that's another thing. And the only way that doesn't apply is if they're in prison for owing child support. That's the only way. But yeah, if you got people locked up or you about to go sit down for a minute, file the paperwork so you're not getting charged. See, that's the type of stuff you're supposed to be telling people, instead of saying, oh, you can't do shit. She got all the cards, man. You fucked in the game. No, you tell them you got to go down there, man. You got to go get your equal rights. And don't sign anything when you give birth. Don't sign nothing. You can get your DNA test outside on your own. Don't sign nothing at the hospital, because once you sign that, you are acknowledging paternity, and they can put you on child support there. So if you want more, I have tons of videos with all of this information researched. And I have my book, The Child Support Hustle. You can pick up on that. The Child Support Hustle has all the Title 4D. That breaks it all the way down. Y'all don't have to guess about it anymore. These people they're not giving y'all the truth. And oh my God, I'm gonna say this before I leave. Please don't give anybody your money saying they can get you off of child support. Just send them X amount of dollars. I don't care if it's $10, don't send it to them. Don't do it. If people could get others off of child support that easy, would nobody be on child support? Just do your due diligence. Make sure you were served, process server came and saw you, you signed for it, you had your day in court, all that good stuff. You are your strongest advocate against this system, period. Nobody's going to go hard for you or your children like you. Okay? So that's it from me. And I really appreciate y'all. Don't be believing these people saying I'm hateful. I'm not. Y'all know me. A lot of y'all know me or get to know me. I'm not hateful. Okay. All right. Y'all stay up. Oh, shoot. I don't know how to go out of here. Oh, here it is.